My Hebrew brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the earth. Let me take this moment to say, welcome back and thank you. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and your prayers. Thank you for everything you do, my brothers and sisters, to advance this ministry. You know, you've been praying for me, and I thank you so much because, you know, like I'm here right now, I'm feeling much better than what we have felt last couple of weeks. So we want to thank you, you know, and, you know, for your prayers. In the last session, we were talking about David and, you know, introductory remarks. And I just talk about a couple of things, you know, relating to Psalm 38. You know, the man in pain praise. That's the title of this psalm. Okay, now we're saying that just like David, you know, just like David, we can plead for mercy. Okay, as a model, you know, for repentance in our own lives. You know, plead for mercy. And this should be something that we all do, my brothers and sisters. Mercy, the mercy. You see, Yahuwah he shower his favor on us, right? But let me tell you this. As his children, he expects us to come to him. When we sin, when we go out of the way, right? We've done some negative things, and, you know, we need to plead for mercy. And pleading for mercy showing our humility. If we go there acting, well, you know, he got to be happy to have me, that kind of attitude won't work. We have to plead for mercy. You know? And we have to acknowledge, my brothers and sisters, that we have sinned, we have failed. Because if we don't do that, our personal growth and spiritual maturity is going to suffer. You know, when we mess up, if we don't acknowledge that we have messed up, then what's going to happen? The sin that we've sinned going to play, you know, a role in us, pushing us further away. So Yahuwah won't be able to have fellowship with us, and the Ruach won't be able to fellowship with us. You know, because what happened, we are pushing through, sending him off. But my brothers and sisters, our personal growth and spiritual maturity is important. And acknowledging our faults, our shortcomings, that's going to help us a great deal, you know. And another thing is that this psalm, as we look at it, my brothers and sisters, you know, it challenges us. It challenges us, you know, to confront our own fault, our own failure, our own sin. Okay? And guilt. It challenges us to confront it, my brothers and sisters. We got to confront it. We can't, you know. And by confronting it, my brothers and sisters, it allowing us to deeply seek Yahuwah's mercy and forgiveness. And it's not just for a one-time thing, but it's something that we seek his forgiveness, you know, his mercy. We see that every day of our lives. It's an everyday thing. It's not, you know, when I talk about, you know, keeping a short account, you know, what I'm talking about here is that every day we have to go to him, you know, and before you start reading your Bible, before you start praying about asking Yahuwah for, you know, anything, making a request, before you know, intercede for somebody else, you know, you pray and trust Yahweh and ask him for forgiveness for your life, for the sins or for the shortcoming in your lives. You know. and sometimes we talk about stuff that we know we're supposed to do and we don't do it. Sometimes we you know, it's not that we really go there and commit something, you know, but sometimes there are things that we need to do, but we don't do it, you know. So, and you know, Psalm 38 helped to demonstrate the importance, you know, of our vulnerability, you know. And this vulnerability here we talk about is that dealing with our relationship, you know, our relationship with Yahweh, you know, and we need to take that into consideration. And you know, as like David shows, you know, that his hope in Yahweh, his hope in Yahweh was that you know, remedy, if you want to say that. We can say remedy or antidote, right, for the despair that he felt in his life. Okay, and so sometimes, my brothers and my sisters, you and I, whether you want to accept it or not, you know, because sometimes people feel that they never done anything wrong, you know. Don't be like some of these politicians who act like, well, I never done anything wrong, so I don't have anything to, you know, ask for forgiveness for. But as we go, you know, and we can see as we read the psalm here, when I read through the psalm, my brothers and my sisters, I'm telling you the truth, the psalm, you know, it inspires me, you know. It inspires me to persevere, because sometimes when the burden gets heavy, right, you just want to, you know, just kind of, hey, look, let me just sit down for a while. I just take it easy and, you know, let things pass. Let things, you know, my brothers and my sisters, we are involved, we are in it. And if we sit down and we don't do anything about it, all the things that are happening around us, you know, we don't do anything about it, you know, we have to persevere, my brothers and my sisters. And we have to do it in our faith, you know, faith in Yahweh. And during these times of, you know, trials and testing and afflictions and whatever, you know, and so, brothers and sisters, you know, in the face of personal distress, you know, and conflicts, we can maintain, you know, our dependence upon Yahweh, you know, just like how David did, you know. So praise be to his holy name. All right, in verse 1, Psalm 38 verse 1, I want us to look at the verse here, because here we start out, and I mentioned that in the introductory section, but listen what it says here. Yahweh, oh Yahweh, oh Yahweh, he crying out to him. Oh Yahweh. In the King James Version, it says, oh Lord. Okay? It says, oh Yahweh. And he's making a request. He said, rebuke me not in thy wrath. Rebuke me not in thy wrath. You know that Yahweh is going to rebuke him, but he doesn't want Yahweh to do it in his wrath. Because, my brothers and sisters, when Yahweh is sick of, I have something I want to say, sick and tired, you know, of our ways, you know, our ways not pleasing him, right? There's and he been warning us, and he been patient with us, he been, you know, giving us the opportunity to turn our lives around, to turn and start doing the right thing. You know, Yahweh will rebuke us, right? He will rebuke us. The longer we stay in our faults and, you know, without repenting of them, my brothers and sisters, it's more detrimental it is to us. Okay? So he said, rebuke me not in thy wrath. I want us to look at the word rebuke here, because the word rebuke is a Hebrew word, and the word is like a yakak, 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 and the word means to decide, or to indulge, or to prove. Okay, the word is yod, ket, and chet. Okay, and so what it's saying here is we are asking, is like the word up to a point, right? Or to argue, to chasten, to Yahweh convince you, you know. And it's the word rebuke here to is correction, right? Is that Yahweh is going to correct you for something, because the reason why he's going to correct you for something excuse me, is the fact that he has a dispute against you. There's a dispute. Okay, when you stand before a judge, right? You before a judge for a specific reason, and the judge want to hear your case, right? If you're not able to talk and you have a lawyer who won't talk for you, you're going to hear it. And so when you plead your case before him, you're pleading your case and you're asking the judge, and you're talking and you're showing that, you know, you have some kind of remorse. A lot of people get big sentence because, you know, no remorse. It don't matter what they do, they act like, well, they never done anything. Okay? But here, what this word, you know, rebuke, it has to do with chasing. Now, you know, you're convinced that something is wrong, and so the correction is coming. Okay, and if you able to take correction, then things may, you know, not be so harsh. The judge not gonna sentence you so harsh, you know. But when you sit up there and mumble, and you know, quietly mumbling, and they could hear you, you know, and you move around, and the way you move and the way you gesture, they know, and the jury know that, you know, you don't care. So what's going to happen? They're going to come down hard on you. But my brothers and my sisters, here, David is starting out by asking Yahweh. He's crying out to Yahweh, and he's asking Yahweh not to rebuke him, not to correct him in his in his wrath. Okay, in his wrath. The word come, you know, primitive root comes, means to be right. You're going to be corrected because you did something wrong. So Yahweh is right in rebuking, right? He's gonna correct you, and the same thing, you know, is, we could say, the reciprocal, you know, the reciprocal, because if Yahweh correct you, give you a chance, then, my brothers and my sisters, you have to do the same to others too. You have to do the same to others. You can't just take Yahweh's forgiveness and then, you know, you're not willing to forgive other people too. You know, other people sin against you, then they come and they argue, and you know, and you're going to argue back with them, you know, remembering that Yahweh has helped you, you know. So you have to decide, my brothers and my sisters. And, you know, when the judge is justified to, you know, is justified when you get when he give a verdict, right? He can convict you, right? He's not going to sit on there. Sometimes he'll tell you, the judge will tell you, say, look, young man or young lady, you've been, so and so and so and so, and you need to, get your life in order. And if you ask for forgiveness and the judge see that you're serious about asking for forgiveness, then what they're gonna do? You're gonna correct you. They're gonna talk to you, and they're gonna tell you how you can shape your life up so that you don't have to come up before the judge. So whatever the dispute, Yahuwah, he maintained the right. He maintained the right. He has a reason to rebuke you. He reprove you. Right? And in any wise, my brothers and my sisters, Yahuwah is gonna do it, and but he's gonna do it with mercy. Look with me. Look at the word wrath there. It says, rebuke me not in thy wrath. And the word wrath here, my brothers and sisters, is a word get safe. Get safe. Get safe. Get safe. It's a kind of hard word to call. But it is Quaf, Sade, and Faith. Okay. And so what it's saying here is that this word is basically talking about wrath. That's what it means. Wrath. Okay, when a person is wrathful, and you can see the wrath. They say basically the person foam, right? You can see the moving of the facial, the face is moving, you can see. Some people, when they get mad, and you look at their face, they could see the forehead have some wrinkles in it, and you know that they just, you could tell that they're angry, and so on, they're blowing, have this kind of it's like a wrath is a person's indignation, okay, if you want to say that. It's like the person is so wrath, it's like a splinter flying, it is in a rage, a strife, and it says foam, and so the person in this case is very angry. This person is very displeased, and so you can provoke a person to wrath, right? You keep provoking them and they get angry, right? Can you imagine? That's how our ancestors did. They provoke what? Yahuwah. They provoked them in so many different ways, and until it got to a point where he said, I am not going to take it any longer. I am going to discipline you. And so why do we put them into captivity? My brothers and my sisters, when he put us into captivity and the punishment that come, there's some serious thing that happen. For instance, like our people mess up in so many different ways, right? Here they are. In Egypt, he let them out free. Bring them out. Then they're supposed to do the right thing. Next thing you hear, they're in Assyria. Next thing you hear, the other group is in Babylon. Then they came back in the land. Next thing you know is that the Greek come up against them. Okay? Antiochus and one they come up against them. Then later the Romans come up against them. Then the next thing, they'll be running from Israel into West Africa. And then from West Africa, they're here in the Americas, they're in the Caribbean. And my brothers and sisters, a lot of atrocity happened to people because of the weird, they don't want to listen. And so, can you imagine where not only that the women were raped, but the men also, many of the men also, and you know, it was easier to believe the women than the men. But a lot of that thing happened to the men too. Okay? And all of this is because they refuse to follow Yahuwah's order and to do his will. You know, they provoke him to anger, they provoke him to wrath, okay? So the idea, the word there, wrath is also, you know, have to do with something to crack off something, you know, to burst out in rage, you know, displease it, you know, they provoke to wrath, they provoke Yahuwah to wrath. And so, my brothers and sisters, we're going to stop here, and then we're going to come back, you know, we still need to finish verse 1, okay? But we'll come back on verse 1. And then, you know, so we're just going to ask you that in the meantime, to be a blessing to someone, and also to walk with the King. Shalom.